Hi, welcome to MawMaw's Dutch Oven Pork Chops. This all came about because a few months ago I did a recipe that was a hand-me-down family recipe. And it sparked my cousin Jackie to reach out to me and ask me if I had any of MawMaw's recipes. And I didn't. So I reached out to my sister Mia. She reached out to our cousin Kathy. And anyway, we ended up with some of MawMaw's recipes. And this is one, and here it is. So this is my dad's mom, my Mamaw, Anna McMillan, and this is her recipe for Dutch pork chops. And she was born in 1901. She was married. My papa's name was Homer. They actually ran off and got married on horseback. They didn't even bother to dismount the horse. They got married right on top of the horseback. And Mamaw would have the first of her 10 children by the age of 19. And they lived on a farm, pretty much a self-sustaining farm. They would buy flour and sugar and that kind of thing. And they had farm hands. And of course they had, of those 10 kids, 7 were boys. So they had a lot of farm hands. And Mamaw was a good cook, and Mamaw cooked a lot, and she fed everybody. And back in those days, you fed everybody 3 times a day. You really didn't go out to eat, and they pretty much raised and grew what they ate. And I kind of picked this one because I really love just the simplicity of it. And I kind of imagine Mamaw having a big pot of beans on to go with this, a big pot of half runner beans to go with this. I actually made some biscuits today to go with it. And I'm going to try the best I can to keep it as authentic as I can. Obviously, it's pretty easy. There's not a lot of ingredients. And that's why I kind of decided to peel my potatoes, because in my mind, I imagined, Mamaw having her favorite paring knife that just fit her hand perfectly, and she would peel all of the potatoes. So I decided to do that as well. And I'm putting it in this water because I want to season them, toss them with a little avocado oil, and pop them in a really hot oven for a nice crunchy snack. Now I'm cooking bacon here because the recipe calls for grease, which I imagine they were using lard. So I'm just cooking some bacon. The bacon doesn't really have anything to do with this recipe. I just want to cook this in the bacon grease because I figured that was as close as I was gonna come to the lard. It also calls for 6 potatoes. I got 6 potatoes, but it just seemed like so much potatoes. It calls for medium potatoes, so I think probably if they were smaller like this, but these were kind of bigger, so I'm only going to do 4. So it's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Jackie, for spurring me getting some of Mama's recipes. It's been a lot of fun looking at them and reading them, and there's just something about those recipes that are handed down for your family, and when you're making them, it makes you just feel close to them and think about them. And like I said, there was 7 boys, and all of the boys, including Homer, served our country with the exception of my dad. My dad had polio when he was a young boy, so therefore he couldn't, but I imagine he would have. But my sister Mia is retired Air Force, so she made up for it. So the recipe says to flour the pork chops and fry in hot grease. Of course, I've got my bacon grease in here, but I want to add a little butter just because I don't think that was quite enough. So I'm going to add some butter to that. It also says on there salt and pepper to taste. So I'm going to take that as I can salt and pepper my pork chops or salt and pepper my flour. I don't really think that's what it meant, but that's what I'm going to take it to mean. And I want to do both sides. And now it says in a large cast iron, and I was debating about this big one, which I think the surface area down here, because it's flatter, is bigger. But I kind of like this one because then splatter, because it's tall, things won't splatter as much. So I think either one. I think if you just had your big cast iron or you had your Dutch oven, I think either way. So flour in both sides. You're going to cook them until both sides are nice and brown. This recipe is just simple. Back then, it didn't have all the kind of ingredients in the grocery store and things that we do now. So it was definitely much simpler. So here we go. We're going to brown these. The recipe calls for an onion sliced thin, but then in the instruction part, it says add your chopped onion. So I'm really unclear about if they're sliced or they're diced. So I think I have to just make a decision and go with it. I kind of like the idea of really thin slices. So I think I'm just going to go with very, very thin slices because we're kind of winging it. I'm kind of winging it anyway. But I don't think it would matter. I think either way, it would be fine. And another thing that we have is ketchup. Now, if you see the recipe, it says catsup. Now, when I was a kid, in the stores, it was catsup. And I don't know if you can find catsup anymore. Maybe you still can in places. But ketchup actually came from China way back when it was made with fermented anchovies that they used as a fish sauce. And then in about 1711, Europeans brought that sauce west and started calling it ketchup. And of course, over time, it has gone from the anchovies to sugar and vinegar and things. Now, it got its name catsup and then in the 1730s because Jonathan Swift wrote a poem and called it catsup. And it was pretty much then catsup, even in bottles in the store, until Heinz decided to, so Heinz decided to change the name to the ketchup spelling that it is because they wanted to stand out from the different brands, and then it just took on the name ketchup. Now I have my easy 5-minute homemade tomato paste ketchup or catsup, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to use. I don't want to go and make this beautiful homemade dish and then put like high fructose corn syrup and stuff in it. We're going to keep it all natural. I probably should have stopped talking about catsup and cut my potatoes, but I didn't. All right, so I'm going to put these back in here. Now, I want to put the water and the ketchup in and then add the pork chops, but MawMaw says fry your pork chops, cover with hot water, and I'm taking that to mean just till the pork chops themselves are covered. Doesn't really say how much. I'm going to turn this stove off though. And then to add 4 tablespoons of catsup, which is why I wanted to do it in there so it's all stirred up. But we're gonna do what MawMaw says. My other MawMaw was named Edith Pearl, and Anna Dicey was my 2 MawMaws. I think that was 4. I'll do a little extra just because, as usual, I was talking and not paying attention. And then it says salt and pepper. And then add our onions. So we're going to add all those sliced onions all around. And I've got my oven on 350 degrees. MawMaw says to cook this for an hour or until the gravy's thick. We're going to put the quartered potatoes around. And this one's kind of big. It might get even more than quartered. And then we're going to go in the oven for an hour. Now, I tried to find pretty thick pork chops because I feel like an hour is a long time for those pork chops. So I tried to find some really thick ones. But back in those days also, it was more important to make sure that, you couldn't serve pork like we can today, at a medium temperature. So, yeah, I'm glad I didn't do 6 potatoes because I think that would have been way too many. I'm going to try to smush them down in there too. Now, I'm going to take MawMaw's saying salt and pepper to taste, and I can go ahead and salt and pepper my potatoes because I really want to. Potatoes, love, love, love salt. So I'm going to pop this in the oven for an hour, and then we'll see what we think. Kind of giving it a swirl here. I kind of want to get some of that sauce on those potatoes. Uncovered too. It doesn't say anything about a cover, so I'm going in uncovered. So my timer just went off, so I'm going to go get our Dutch pork chops out of the oven, and I'm going to put these in the oven and crank up that oven temperature. I kind of feel like MawMaw probably used her potato skin scraps to feed the chickens or maybe the pigs, but I'm going to make a crispy snack with them. So the farm that Anna Dicey and Homer had, where my father grew up, was in Alcohol, West Virginia, which is why I wore my West Virginia shirt today. Okay, I gotta get down in here and get one of these pork chops. And then some of those potatoes. I want some of those onions. Now, I know I made biscuits, but you know, cornbread. Cornbread would be a really good choice here as well. Some of the gravy. And pour it all over. Now, I will tell you, in MawMaw's recipe, it says garnish with parsley, which I don't do parsley. I don't like it. It tastes like grass. I think people have that gene, and cilantro tastes like soap to them. Well, I think I have a gene where parsley tastes like grass to me. Clean my plate here. So if you like parsley, feel free. Garnish yours with parsley. But honestly, for such few simple ingredients, it looks so pretty. I'm going to take me a bite of my pork chop, which actually feels really tender. I was kind of concerned about that long cooking time on a pork chop, but I think it's really tender. Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Very good. Try one of the potatoes. This is really good. Thank you, MawMaw. MawMaw, thank you so much. I felt like you were here with me today, and thank you for writing these down so that we could have them and pass them on. Such humble, simple ingredients and just so delicious. Again, MawMaw, thank you. Love you. And to all of you, thank you for being here with me today for making my MawMaw's Dutch pork chops. If you make them, send me a picture and let me know. And until later, love y'all. Bye. See you soon.